Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo. This is the MeWe Metaphysics and Wellness Fairs for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and lots of events online. We interview our practitioners and vendors, so you get a chance to know who we are before you meet us at an event. I'm here today interviewing Miché Meizner. Miché, it's great to be with you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So what is it that you do? What do you offer at our events?
Yeah, what do I offer? A variety of things. I like to kind of change it up depending on who shows up, actually. But um, in general, I'm usually doing a talk or experiential and energy clearing or some sort of transmission where people can actually get to feel something shift in their body or in their energetic space. And I offer 15-minute sessions, private sessions, where you can work with me and work on a particular issue. Or I like to actually just leave it open to spirit and source and your guides, my guides, as to what actually gets worked on. That we come together, right time, right place, and just let it flow. Um, and I bend spoons. I teach people how to bend spoons, and I think I might try to figure out how to do that at one of the fairs. We'll see. That remains to be seen. So mainly energy, and it's a combination of like energy and coaching.
Mhm.
So kind of spiritual mentorship, healing, and depending on what you the participant present at any given moment.
Yeah.
And even with the talks that I do, a lot of times I'm bringing in like a divine download. So depending on who's showing up, who's there at that moment, is the download that I get. And
Yeah.
so it's often for specifically in general of benefit, but specifically for whoever needs to hear what's coming through.
So how did you get started doing your work? Did you start more the metaphysical side, the coaching side, and like how did all the pieces come in?
Right? I started with the metaphysical. Actually, as a kid, I was really interested in all sorts of paranormal things, and I would go to the bookstore and find, a used bookstore, find whatever I could and read it. And then later, as I went along, I guess I was interested in counseling too. I was a peer counselor, did co-counseling when I was in my teens. Just always wanted to help myself and help other people, feel better about themselves and feel stronger and more empowered. And so those two continued to come together. I became a certified life coach probably 9 or 10 years ago now. And I've been doing energy work of various sorts and studying, training, and working probably about 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The big change that happened for me, though, couple one was when I started teaching spoon bending, which is about 5 years ago, because it's such a great way to show people, to give somebody the experience of how powerful we are when we um, make an intention, when we stop our negative self-talk, which we start to notice is going on so much, and just tap into new possibilities. So I love doing that, and it allowed me to reach a lot of people in that way. And
I kind of tease that
then
some of the different tools are a bit of smuggling. Like there's so much growth that comes in, like people might be attracted for something else. And then there's so much growth that comes in the process. And I'm imagining that spoon bending is a bit that way.
it is totally like you see the light bulbs go on when I do these webinars. And so actually, I have a spoon. Normally, I'm surrounded by spoons that I bent. And in September of this year, my house and my studio and office burned to the ground in the Holiday Farm wildfires.
Yeah.
So I had in between bought some used new spoons for future teaching, but I'll have to start bending, so I might as well just start now. So, and when I teach people, we're starting with a spoon that you can't bend with your physical strength alone, and I take people through a mind shift that puts you into a different state, not a trance. It's like you're still in everyday reality, but we're just looking at different things and energy and thoughts and all of that. And most of the people, most of the time, are able to bend their spoons, and actually in within 10 or 15 minutes. So I think it might be a great thing to start doing. And so I'm just kind of feeling it. And there's no tricks, it's not cracked. It's none of the magician things that people do, that magicians do. And I'm just going to see if I can get into that space quick. And got that.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see, but when it's in your hands and you're doing it, it's an amazing experience. You know, that you went from one moment too hard, can't do it, to just bent it in half, you know, and go beyond. And so in my coaching also, like, it starts with that, to say, wow, look how powerful you are, look what's possible. And then we coach about, you know, what's in your way, or how to bring in new behaviors or new mindsets so that you can do this sort of thing in your life, right? Because spoon bending is cool, but it's much cooler when you're bending your moods, you're bending the time that you're waiting for a table at the restaurant. Maybe not so much right now, but in general, you know, or um, bending how you approach the resume that you're writing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's one very cool thing that I love to do. Um,
Would you say that it like plays with like if there's a constraint that we're holding of what we experience as reality, that we're having to step out of that and to be more inclusive of what that is? Or
Definitely, it's being open to new possibilities, and not even to decide what those possibilities are, right? But to just be like, I wonder what else can happen. How can it be? And even, you know, just right now, and when I teach people, you sort of have to be willing to let go of the outcome. I don't ever know for sure if I'm going to bend it, or am I going to bend it in half, or am I going to twist it around, or whatever. It's stepping into that space of, I wonder what's possible, where really what you're doing is you're setting the barriers aside and allowing something new to come in.
because if
Something
you
that,
said you hadn't done it for a while, like given all that's happened this year, I know I felt a little bit of nervousness in me of like, okay, you do it now. I'm like, okay, I gotta set that aside and like hold space. So I was kind of wondering like how this was gonna go. And I was watching just so carefully as you did it, and it looked like there was there was suddenly like a time that it was open and it was moving, and then it and I could see like as things like stiffened again. And I was
yeah,
only looking at it. I wasn't like holding the field of all of you. But yeah, so
yeah. A lot of times when people bend their first spoon, they'll say something like, you know, I'll ask them like, what was that like? What was happening at that moment? And they'll say, it felt like the spoon wanted to bend. So there's a whole new reality, right? You know, or they'll feel like it felt soft, or it was ready, or somebody once figured out that the spoon they were holding was not this, that spoon did not want to bend, and she, you know, had brought several. She picked up another one, and boom, she bent it. So it's a totally different way to approach physical and um, material, and, you know, what's alive, what's not alive. Is there awareness and, you know, energy? There's a lot of ways you can go
mm,
deeper down the rabbit hole, deeper down your own understanding of yourself. You get to see in just a really simple setting some of the ways that you hold yourself back. You see some of the language that you use. You see how quickly you might give up, and we can work with that and overcome it or shift it or whatever, so that spoon bending, you know, is not just some crazy thing you did one time, but it becomes, you know, it's like your new superpower, right? Is
yep,
spoon bending, reality bending.
yep. Well, do people come to you for all kinds of different topics, all kinds of different questions, or do they come to you for specific things typically?
Um, you know, generally, I think people are come to me are interested in growing more. They tend to be people already on a spiritual path. Many are also solopreneurs or woopreneurs, you know, and feeling like maybe they're stuck somewhere. Like they've been growing, they've been doing their thing, and now there's something to get beyond, or they just want to keep expanding. Um, and so a lot of the work that I do is really about opening your perspective and receiving more, and being able to affect more, like the spoon thing. Um, about a year and a half ago, I got this divine download of a particular way of working with energy and with people that has been amazingly transformative. And one of the reasons that it came when it did, I think, is because I was really owning myself, owning like who I am and what I'm able to do, and stepping into that and deciding, for me at this point, I had learned enough of other people's modalities and I kept trying to, sort of fit into them, and it only goes so far because I had my own, right? I got my own energy, my own perception, and ways of perceiving. And when I stepped into that, it was sort of simultaneously as this was coming in, I was stepping into it, and the message actually from my friend who was channeling for me, channeling my guides for me at while I was doing this work, was like sort of, get off the couch and just own it. You are a master, at this energy work already, so get up and do it. And ever since then, amazing things have been happening for me and for my clients, for people who go through, I call it the cosmic attunement. So that's sort of the big, like the kind of deep, energetic house cleaning of your life and your energy. And it tends to open up what many of these people are looking for. Like they're getting confirmation. Oh, yeah, that thing that I wanted to do, now I know because my ancestors showed up or because something got cleared out of the way and I can see it. This is what I should be doing. There's been some physical healings for people. Um, I don't. Uh, I don't direct these the way I was saying before, like in a clearing session or whatever, too. I'm leaving it open because what else is possible? I don't know. You don't know, right? So let, what the best and the highest come in for, what's on your path. And so confirmation, confidence, a boldness, and a like just a clarity and readiness to move onto whatever is your next thing. And for one woman, she had been spending her entire life not speaking up, about things that, right? I mean,
Yeah, all
actually,
kinds of things. Yeah.
yeah, right. And very much in her culture, also, like you don't say
Mhm.
how you feel, you don't cry, you don't get mad at people, whatever, and she had an attunement. She actually cried every day for like 2 weeks and was sort of freaked out because she hadn't her whole life. And I helped and coached her through that and, promised her it was going to stop eventually. And when it did, her boundaries were so clear. And the
Mm.
ways that people had been kind of stepping on her and taking advantage of her, she was so clear on what that was. It was no longer acceptable. It wasn't going to happen. Her life changed from that. So that's one example. Somebody had a frozen shoulder, was about to go to the doctor. We did some of the stuff that happened in the attunement in our bubble. Her frozen shoulder was gone, has not reappeared. Another woman was saying that she'd been trying to find a particular way in her spiritual. She also a coach, and so what she wanted to present, and she'd been struggling and struggling, and she had this session with me, and right in the session, she got her own download and her own vision of what she was supposed to be doing. So um, I'm thrilled with that work. What it's doing for people. And for me, I'm coming in, I feel very confident and connected as this is happening. And so much love. It's always done with love and acceptance. And it's not like you're broken, you know, it's that people want more. They want to become more of who they already are. And that's what this work is doing. And
Yeah.
then also complemented with coaching, um, to help, the ways that we've been uh, word inculcated, trained, and streamed into. Okay, losing my words here. Yeah, just the ways that we have been trained and taught, to not believe in ourselves, maybe, or even just, this is how it is, right? A spoon is a
Yeah.
spoon. It's metal. It doesn't bend, and then you're able to do that. There's some requirement to kind of practice that and make that become your go-to, right?
Right.
When something comes up and it's hard, your go-to isn't, oh, I always fail and this never works and why did I even try this? Your go-to is, hey, I bent a spoon, or I really believe in myself, or I have these powers that I can tap into, or I have
Yeah.
higher guidance source, whatever. So I'm helping people connect with that more in the various ways that we have, veils or obstacles to do that.
No, this is great. This is great. I'm so excited. So if people want to connect with you or learn more about you, where should they go? How do they reach you?
Well, a good place to find me these days is on Facebook, and you can just look me up as Miché Meizner or Miché
Spell it.
Shines.
Spell it for us.
Yeah, Michemeizner, or you can look up Miché Shines, which is Micheshines. My Gmail is micheshines@gmail.com, so you can get me there. I run on Facebook the Spoonbenders Cafe, and so you can look me up there. In the search bar, just look for. I've got a business page for that, and I've got a group that I would love anybody to come and join. Yeah, I also lead meditations weekly on Facebook and soon other places, I hope. But anybody can join, and it's to get into your heart, expand your ability to receive love and to send it out. And we send it out to the world because the world can use it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is great. It's been so exciting chatting with you. I'm so excited having you at our events.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to meet whoever's next in the next round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Miche.
Yeah. Thank you, Lorelai.
And for
Appreciate it.
those of you listening and watching, you can learn more about all of our events at mewefairs.com. That's MEWEFAIRS.com. See you soon.